Hi, I'm the strategist. My name is Victoria Carey. How are you doing? How is the month of May treating you? And how are you holding up? I went out to buy something this evening, right? And I just started to think about, something that was very important, when I was driving back home. And I said I was going to, do a video about this, right? I'm gonna have this conversation. I think it's a very, very critical and very essential conversation. All right. So if you're young, and when I say young, because these days people just assume, maybe because I'm giving a seriousness vibe, right? Especially on Twitter, right? And people just assume that I'm Gen X. Please, I'm not Gen X. Please, let's respect ourselves, right? But anyway, I began to, muse on something that I believe is very important for young people. And when I say young, right, if you're in your late 20s and your mid 30s, right, this is for you. Especially if you're single or you're newly married, and you don't have kids yet. The operative word being not having kids yet, all right, because it's very important for the conversation. It's very, very essential that you start giving your kids or creating the environment for your kids to have a very early head start in life. And you've got to do this very quickly. I mean, just think about where you were born, the kind of family you were born into, the resources that you had growing up, where you are right now. I mean, especially if you're Nigerian and you're listening to this and you are living in Nigeria. And, looking at all the shenanigans that is happening, I think it's going to be a very great disservice, right? If you're young, you're single, or you're newly married, you don't have a child yet, and you are not thinking about building the future for your kids, creating a world of endless possibilities for them. Because the truth of the matter is, if nobody created that world for you, and you say, well, I'm just going to suffer through and hustle through, once you're not intentional about creating that world for your kids, they are going to end up like you. And so what you want to do very quickly is to break that cycle. Whether it came from your parents or your grandparents or your great-grandparents, right? The idea with all these generational curses is just patterns. And you can wake up and say, I want to break the pattern. I want to create a new order for my kids. I was discussing with a friend, today. I'm going to withhold her name. If she's watching this, she will know that I'm talking about her. And we just talked about it. And I said that we are consciously going through, putting our nose to the grinding stone, doing all of this stress so that things will be easier for our kids, right? We have to build the operating system that ensures and guarantees their success. Am I saying you're just going to hand them life as a bed of roses? No. But what you want to do is to, reduce the obstacles and make it incredibly easy, right? In that sense, make it incredibly easier for them to succeed. There are some things that, we're currently battling with that you don't want your kids to battle with. And if your kids grow up, right, by virtue of intelligence or information, they realize that you could have done something. You could have done something to leapfrog them ahead. Give them a very early start, and you didn't do it. They're going to be very upset with you. So if you must do something right now, you've got to do it very quickly. And you don't want to bother about what people will say, you don't want to think about that. It is about you. It's about the next generation. The next generation of your lineage rests on you. What are you going to do? What conscious efforts are you making? Because if you don't break those barriers, your kids are going to wake up and they are going to blame the government and they are going to blame the system, right? Instead of letting them go through all that stress, you can start by creating a new environment, creating a new system for them so that they can get that head start in life and so they can thrive. As I end this conversation, it's very important that I think by now the whole 30 plus jokes has really died down. I was talking to, I think a Gen Z, and she was like, no, I can't believe that I'm turning 30 soon. So the whole 30 plus joke, right, has really died down. Why? Because if you were born in 2000, guess what? You are 6 years away from being 30. If you were born in 2000, you're 6 years away, from 30. And that's even if you were born in January, so that's less than 6 years to 30. And the most shocking thing about this is at the end of the next tenure for Nigerians, right? After this particular tenure, at the end of the next tenure, you're 30. Congratulations. And if you do nothing and whine about your 20s, you're going to get into your 30s surprised. You're going to be surprised. And what you want to do right now is to start building the operating system for your kids. It's not too early and it's not too late. If you didn't start early, you can start now. Don't let your kids wake up and think about all that you could have done for them, but you never did it. Stop complaining and start building the operating system that ensures that your kids can get a head start in life. And this is how you can break generational curses, generational poverty, and all those negative patterns. I hope that helps you. If it did, please share this to anyone who is in their late 20s and in their mid 30s, because I believe that it's going to help them.